All right, it's 11:30 p.m. I want to thank everyone for logging in to the Thursday weekly briefing. We're going to be covering the period today, March 23rd through next Wednesday, March 29th. And yes, believe it or not, we're winding down the month of March. It's pretty amazing how quickly time has gone by. Um, this is over the next several days, really not expecting a whole lot of really high impact weather. But the one thing that you will notice, and that will be starting here in the next few hours, is that the warmth is returning. And it's going to really return in earnest tomorrow. But as we break out these clouds this morning, we're expecting temperatures to rise into the 70s pretty quickly. And we'll also see winds pick up, and that's going to be the trend for the next 3 days, all the way through at least Sunday, where we're going to have unseasonable warmth with highs in the 70s and 80s. It looks like the warmth is going to peak on Friday. In fact, we could see some near record warmth at RDU and at Fayetteville, which is two of our climate sites, where highs are expected to be in the upper 80s. So we will keep tabs on those record-setting temperatures, but that will generally be the trend again, at least through Sunday before a cold front moves into the area. Now, before that cold front moves into the area, there's going to be two small chances for rain. One is going to be late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. If you look up here in the upper right panel here, there's going to be a front that's going to be near the Virginia border tomorrow. And some of the models, at least a couple of the models, are showing the chances for a few showers to develop near our Virginia border tomorrow. But for the most part, everyone should be mostly dry and just warm and very breezy. And then another chance is going to arrive on Saturday as well, and that's associated with this area of low pressure that's tracking well to our north and northwest through the Ohio Valley and up into the Great Lakes region up here. And what's going to happen is we're going to see a band of showers come into the area on Saturday. There's also a very small isolated chance for some thunder. But what it looks like is that band or that line of showers is going to come across the mountains and weaken and dissipate. And in some of our models are even actually showing it almost, basically dry across our area. So we're not expecting any, significant rain or appreciable rain as that area of showers moves through. That front, again, is going to stay to our north and west, and we'll stay warm through Sunday. Models do find it so somewhere like around late Sunday, maybe later into Monday, a backdoor cold front coming through, and it's stalling across our southern border. And when that cold front comes through, temperatures will cool off. We'll be back to near seasonable temperatures. And then models are trying to show some weak or some light rain developing along this front, mostly to our south. It looks like northern areas will stay dry Monday, but we could see some lingering rain across the far south as on Monday and possibly into Tuesday. And then finally, in the bottom right here, we're going to have an area of high pressure that's going to deliver much cooler temperatures, and we'll fall below normal, but we'll still be in the low 60s at that point. But the big thing is also we're not expecting any freezing temperatures over the next several days. So there's no threat of any frost or freeze over the next several days. As we look at the accumulated precipitation over the next 5 days, and you will see here mostly there's our small chance late Friday in the day, more Friday evening as that front drifts down out of Virginia. And then on Saturday, that's our area of showers coming through. And you can see that the darker greens will remain to our west. And then we'll see the lingering rain chances on Sunday and Monday across our south. You may end up seeing these greens get further suppressed to our south once we get closer in time, because again, there's a lot of the models showing most of this rain staying across South Carolina. And if you look at the 5-day total, we're looking at some pretty light rainfall amounts across most of central North Carolina. There's some slightly higher chances down across our southeast, but I even think that's a little overdone. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those rainfall amounts decrease as we get closer in time. Looking at our severe thunderstorm potential, right now we're not expecting any threat for severe storms. Our best chance of seeing any thunder will be on Saturday, and we were just looking earlier, and I would say it looks like somewhere about a 20% chance that you could see some isolated thunder. And it looks like for the most part, while you see the whole area highlighted in green, it's probably going to be across our southeast. So I would say near Fayetteville and parts to the south and east of there would have the best chance of seeing some isolated thunder. But again, I'm not expecting any severe weather with those showers. Excessive rainfall threat, not expecting any flooding threat given the light precipitation amounts. And then when we look at what that means in terms of our drought, the drought was updated, it's updated weekly, and we did see them actually increase the dryness. And when I say drought, really the only what you see here, the yellow, is not a drought, it's just abnormally dry, but they did introduce or reintroduce some moderate drought down just to our southeast along the southern coast. So we are seeing, definitely drier conditions over the last several days. Looking out ahead for the week 2 forecast, the 6 to 10 day outlook, and basically it's calling for kind of like average during that period. And what I would say is you're probably looking at a difference between being slightly below normal for a few days and a little bit above normal. So there's not a really strong signal that we're going to have any extended period of either above normal or below normal. And in terms of rain chances, again, the take-home message here is you can see the really high percentages are west of the mountains. So again, not expecting to see any significant rain. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those abnormally dry conditions start to expand, across all of central North Carolina. And sure enough, if you look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, it's very similar, where we're seeing the darker greens and the higher probabilities mostly being west of the mountains. So, this is the type of year, what's that old saying? April showers bring May flowers, and generally April is a drier part of our forecast. It's a dry part of our calendar year. So it looks like we're kind of getting into that pattern, the typical spring pattern. All right, so real quick, really not expecting, I'm not going to go over this whole weather summary, but we're not expecting really any hazardous weather. There will be periods, and this will actually be a great time to go buy a kite if you don't have one. But it's going to be pretty breezy and gusty for the next 5 to 6 days, and that's spring around North Carolina. So, aside from a few strong wind gusts of maybe 30 to 35, we're generally expecting very dry, quiet conditions over the next several days.